But I want to say something also about the times we're in and what it might feel like coming together. Because what I hear from people, no matter where I happen to be talking to people or hearing from them through email or whatever, it seems like everyone expresses in their own way how worn down we are, how worn out we are, how burnt out, how exhausted. There's the kind of exhaustion from the COVID crisis and from the climate crisis, of course, still going on. And now there's the political crisis that's exhausting. And you can add your own to that. Everybody has their own issues that they're trying to deal with because we're in such a divided, separated, socially distanced, but also, oppositional state. And so part of the idea then is the world is so divided. We're going through such an intense period that it's hard to find wisdom in the world. Therefore, we have to go looking inside to find wisdom. Also, the pressure of all the weight in the world is coming down on each person's psyche, and that can divide us inside. And so we have to go looking for underlying unities. And that requires more than anything imagination. And the imagination that's most important is the kind of imagination that suggests that we're all connected somehow, that we're all connected to the soul of the world. And then also, I think importantly, that we're all secretly connected to the deep self. And so that reminds me of a poem. This is a poem from Kabir. I'm going to talk a lot about division, but I wanted to place something early on that shows the capacity that each person actually has for finding deep unity. The guest, he begins talking about the guest. That's like the divine spirit. It's the center of the soul. You can name it whatever you want, but it's the guest we're all looking for. Listen, the guest is inside you and also inside me. You know how the sprout is hidden inside the seed? And we are all struggling here, and none of us has gone very far. But friends, let your fear and let your pretensions go and look around inside. There, the blue sky opens out further and further, and the daily sense of failure and weight goes away. The damage I have done to myself fades as a million suns come forward with light when I sit firmly in that inner world. Listen, inside love there is more joy than we know of. Rain pours down although the sky is clear of clouds. There are whole rivers of light pouring through us. The universe is shot through in all its parts by a single sort of love. And those who hope to be reasonable about these things will fail. The arrogance of reason has separated us from that love. With the word reason, you can already feel the distance beginning to grow. Meanwhile, how lucky Kabir is that surrounded by all this joy, he sings inside his own little boat rocking on the great ocean of life. These songs are about forgetting, about letting go the banks of the river. They're about loss, and they're about dying a little in order to love more, in order to live more. So friends, lift the veil that obscures your heart, and you will find there what you are looking for. So that's Kabir, one of the great mystic poets, and really big imagination, really big feeling, but really important maybe when we realize we're looking for unities. We're looking for the deeper unities and the greater unities. And that's part of human experience, that sense of things deep inside. Rumi, famous for saying, what's inside a person is greater and bigger than what's outside in the world. And so this is the time to somehow find ways to turn inside and trust that going inside. And I'm saying that there's inner wisdom, that there are forms of inner wisdom. And so then the question might be, well, what is wisdom? And first way to look at it, I think it has two roots. One root goes to guidance, and that's familiar, the idea you could get wise guidance from someone. Although I want to suggest tonight you can find wise guidance inside if we can connect properly to the depth of our own heart. And then the other route, quite surprisingly, goes to lyric. One route goes to guidance, the other route goes to lyric. By lyric, I think what is meant is the song of the soul, the rhythm of the body, the idea that there's a song inside us, the sense that if we can catch a hold of our own rhythm, if we can remember and feel the song inside our lives, we're not as easily defeated by the separations and oppositions and confusions in the outer world. And so I'm talking about wisdom not as an abstract, dry thing or an intellectual thing. I'm talking about wisdom that has a depth of knowledge, or gnosis, as the Greeks used to say, but also I'm talking about embodied wisdom, that there's wisdom in the body. And when we find wisdom, we have to carry it in the body as well. And so I'm suggesting that one of the ways out of being crushed by the weight of the world right now is to find the rhythm of one's body, to find the rhythm of one's soul, to find the song inside. And that for me also means singing. I know I never sing enough, but I do it enough to know that it's healing, that in the midst of a song you can feel whole. And so I want to suggest those things, and those are the two roots of wisdom. So wisdom is about pairings, interestingly enough. The guidance on one hand and the lyric on the other, but also wisdom is about the ancient and the immediate. Something that's wise is wise in the moment now. Things that are wise in one moment or one setting are unwise in another. So real wisdom is wise in terms of what's going on, and that's why I'm suggesting if we could find inner wisdom, we'll be less damaged by all the trouble in the world and all the weight and all the suffering that everyone now knows about. So wisdom is immediate and ancient at the same time. It connects us to ancient knowledge, but it connects us in a way that makes that knowledge meaningful right now.